And that as well! Oh, I guess we fell asleep. Nanaka was propped up against me, sleeping peacefully. It happens, man. You know what? This is a real strange way of falling asleep, I must say. I was editing for Project 03, you know, freaking survival horror, ghosty, creepy. And it was like, this one recording that I was like editing for was basically hiding from ghosts, and there's like creepy ass noises and atmosphere, ambient sounds, creepy as balls. But the recording went on for nearly an hour, and the editing part that I'm referring to was, you know, when I record using DVD recorder, I then take the disc that I recorded on, put it into the laptop, and I use Power DVD, and then bring out Camtasia and record that, and then after that I put it into Camtasia Studio and add in the Audacity recording that I do for my commentary, add that with the video and sync it up together. That's how I do recordings when it comes to the PS2 or the Nintendo Wii, GameCube, anything that I do on those consoles. Anything on a console, pretty much. Anything that I can't record off of my laptop, I record using the DVD recorder. So while I was like letting it play on Power DVD, because when that happens, I've got to literally do nothing. I mean, there are times when like I'd have Pokemon Emerald up on the side in a small window, just level grinding to pass time, because it's tedious. And like, so I just had it on 50 minutes, 58 minutes I think it was, and I fell asleep at some point in it, because I remember waking up and the recording was apparently up to 2 freaking hours. Like, whoa, oh shit, gotta redo that. So I did, but it was, I can't remember when I actually got around to it. Maybe it was the same day, maybe it was yesterday, yeah, probably was yesterday. I don't know, my sleeping patterns has been all over the place. Like, for example, I woke up around about maybe 9 or 10 or something like that. Went to sleep, and I think I woke up around about 12. Went to sleep again around about 3 and woke up around about 7. How weird is that? And I've been up since, and it is now 3:45 in the afternoon. My right arm and leg were numb. Ouch. I'm sorry, did I wake you up? Nanaka looked around in confusion. She didn't seem to know where she was. Then Yume comes along and it gets a bit awkward. She jolted up as she realized where she was. You know, does Nanaka like live with her parents or live alone or what? That's the thing with a lot of these characters. It's well, like in Coco's case, just like, I think her parents were just out or something like that. But they always seem to conveniently have that, isn't it? Just like, we copy our starting parent characters, screw that. Yeah, I feel a little numb though. That's okay, I don't mind being your pillow. Her tired face seemed peaceful for a moment, but it quickly shifted into a frown. Yeah. We gazed blankly at the morning sun. What morning sun? It looks like frickin' Silent Hill. Sun pouring in through the window. Nanaka's eyes looked oil puffed up because of how much she cried last night. I was surprised to hear that from Nanaka. She must have been more upset than I thought. Nanaka. I stroked her hair. Nanaka responded by shrugging her shoulders. A thin smile appeared on her face as she stood up. Okay, but wait, you were sleeping in your school uniform by the looks of it. Do you have another one, or are you just gonna clean that and just be on your way to school? Wouldn't that take quite a bit of time? Nanaka left me alone in my room. She walked away slowly, her shoulders hunched. A few seconds later, I heard the front door closing. I didn't feel like it, but I needed to get ready to go to school too. You know that feeling, man, when you just... Well, I've even stated at the start of this part. You know, it comes to recording, just like, let's do some recording. Oh, I can't be asked. It was a snowy weekend. I decided to take Nanaka out on a date to cheer her up. We decided to meet at the record store in the shopping district. We were shopping for music because we currently lost the music. While waiting for her, I decided to flip through some CDs. Was this the CD you chose? No. I heard a tired voice calling my name. Nanaka, you're here. That just sounded awkward the way I said that. Nanaka, you're here. Voice acting, man. Don't worry, I just got up here too. Well, got here. Nanaka still seemed down in the dumps. She came up to me as though she were afraid of something and held me tightly. Nanaka? What's wrong? That's what they always say. Or so she said. But she was obviously acting strangely. Let's go outside. I thought they are. They are outside though, aren't they? I tried to get Nanaka to leave the store with me. But she stopped me and shook her head. What's the matter? Are you sick? Are you sure? But she didn't seem confident. I finally left the store, Nanaka still clinging to me. Well, this is supposed to be a date. Is there anywhere you want to go? Man, now the atmosphere is just like... How about the cinema? It's uncomfortable. Nanaka gripped my arm tighter and looked around her like a frightened animal. What's the matter with you, Nanaka? Of what? She told me that ever since the incident with Yuza-chan, she was trying not to touch people. Combined with the memories of her childhood, she was getting increasingly paranoid. She scrambled at my arms and hands and desperately tried to read my mind. As she did, her expression calmed a little. Don't worry, Nanaka. It seemed best to get away from the crowd. I thought about taking us back to the observation point. Nanaka replied before I could ever say anything. Well, even say anything. There weren't many people here because of the weather, which seemed to ease Nanaka's mind. But she was still anxious. Nanaka, the ocean looks beautiful. It looks beautiful in this kind of gray kind of skies, and through the snow I could see the waves on the horizon. A ship drifted slowly on the water. Nanaka clung to me as she gazed out over the ocean. Suddenly I smelled something sweet. It was the breeze coming off the... Okay, I remember this word, and I've always having trouble pronouncing it because I keep forgetting the pronunciation. And I got a dictionary here. I remember reading it, seeing what the pronunciation was, but then I forgot. Let's see. Where are you, you son of a bitch? It's a French kind of word, so no wonder I can't pronounce it. I'm crap when it comes to words with French origins, you know. Let's see here. Crepe. Okay, I was way off all the times I tried to pronounce it. It's apparently pronounced like that, I think. Unless I'm pronouncing the example of the pronunciation incorrectly, which I wouldn't be surprised. Now go have a seat and wait for me. I'll go and get you a crepe. What flavor do you want? Strawberry? Nanaka? The scream burst out of Nanaka's mouth. She grabbed me even tighter than before. She begged me through the tears. Her whole body was trembling. I couldn't believe how paranoid she had become. It's okay, Nanaka. I'm sorry. It's okay, I'm not going anywhere. I put my arms around Nanaka and drew her onto her bench. We wound up staying there all day just watching the ocean as Nanaka tightly held onto me. Man, it escalated, didn't it? Star's recording, it was just like, okay, we gotta confront Yuzu-chan on this, and then Nanaka goes into depression mode and paranoia. Wataru and I were still fighting. And now we go back to the other side of the drama. But it felt like things were getting a little better with Coco. Oh, look at that. Again, we were just like, oh man, that scene was... It makes you feel uncomfortable because of how depressing it is. And then all of a sudden... She even invited me out to lunch, much to my surprise. Okay, and Yanzu came with us to the cafeteria. I was so glad to be hanging out with them again.
そしたらね、沢井さんってばまた意地悪なこと言うんだよ。まあ、委員長は嫌味を言うのが仕事みたいなものだからね。
It's in the job description. If you are to be the class president, you have to be mean. I think you're the one who's being rude to her. We carried on a conversation like normal. There was still a bit of awkwardness, but at least Coco was laughing.
時に吉行くん
What?
白川さん、最近どうかしたの
Huh?
実は私も気にしてたんだけど、なんだか聞けなくて、まだ。
Coco's voice trailed off. She still thought I didn't know why she was keeping her distance from Nanaka. Actually, Akane had told me everything, but I decided to play dumb in order to keep the peace.
先週の終わり頃から元気がないみたいね。
Yeah, she's just going through some tough times. Coco wins. She must have thought it was her fault. No, Coco, it's completely different. It's true that she was one of the reasons Nanaka was feeling down, but...
じゃあ、吉行くんが何とかしてあげなくちゃね。
What?
だって、吉行くん、白川さんの彼氏なんでしょ？彼女が元気ないときは何かしてあげないと。
Akane.
そうだね。
Coco seemed almost apologetic.
桜パークに連れて行ってあげるとか、世界一周旅行させてあげるとか。
For a second then, I thought the line was gonna be something like, or take over the world or something, just like, wait, what? Maybe Sakura Island, but not a trip around the world. I knew that they were right. I knew that I needed to do something for her, but I couldn't think of any good ideas. You can't think of any ideas in general, but then again, in this situation, I don't know what to actually do anyway. I need to seriously think about what would make Nanaka feel better. After school, I went off to see Yuzu-chan without telling Nanaka. I thought helping them to make up would be the best thing I could do for her. Well, yeah, I suppose you got a point there. If I could only do something to restore Yuzu-chan's mood. But her door was locked with a sign that said no visitors allowed. What was going on? Excuse me. I called out to a passing nurse. I'm here to see Hinata Yuzu-chan. Are you a family member? I'm her friend. She gave me a suspicious look and started talking. Her condition isn't very good. She can't leave her bed for a while. Since she can't really move around, we're not allowing visitors in her room. What do you mean that her condition is not good? What happened to her? I can't tell you, but don't worry. She's recovering. Really? She's been a little depressed lately, that's why she got worse. Ah, and it must have been because of her fight with Nanaka. She really loved Nanaka, so it must have been a huge blow. Don't tell Nanaka about that bit, then she'll feel even more depressed. I felt depressed. Everybody joined the club, depressed. It felt like everything was going downhill. That's cause it totally is. I couldn't tell Nanaka that Yuzu-chan's condition became worse because of their fight. I come up with any good ideas at all? What can I do both to help feel better so they can make up? The way I read that just sounded weird. Seriously, this is depressing. It was morning. The music and all that, I'm kind of reminded of maybe Canon. I don't know. Yeah, maybe Canon, I think, anyway. It has a similar kind of... It's like... I don't know how to describe it. It was morning. I woke up a lot earlier than usual. I looked at my alarm clock. It's not even 7 a.m. yet. What was I doing up so early? I decided to go back to sleep. Huh? Wait. It's 7? Well, not even 7 yet. And it's that light outside? In winter? I don't know, man. Or maybe it's just different in Japan. I felt like someone was watching me from outside the window. Was somebody standing out there? Oh. She knows something. It was Otne. She was looking up at my room. What was she doing here? If she needed me for something, she could have just come inside. Through the window, she looked very sad. Come to think of it, she'd been acting strangely for the past few days. I wondered if something was bothering her. All of my attention had been on Coco and Nanaka. I'd barely even noticed her. Once I settled Nanaka's affairs, I would have to ask her about it. What if the two are connected? Our eyes met. I tried to open the window so that I could talk to her. Ordinary? But she turned around and walked away. A tide of cherry blossom petals gusted in between us as though to mask her departure. Just like we've got to have visitors. Yeah. I don't know. So tired and the mood just constantly switching from one to the other. Jesus Christ. This class always made me sleepy. Didn't matter what the subject was. Could be a subject on women's breasts and I'd still be tired. Wataru was staring at me. It had been a while since he and I started our Cold War. I would have spoken to him earlier had I not heard about the situation from Akane. I decided to respect Akane's wishes and give him some space. By doing so, Coco was slowly opening up to me again. I wish that I could stop fighting with Wataru too. The class gossip came lumbering noisily into the classroom. Now that I thought about it, there was quite a fuss in the hallway as well. I wonder what had happened.
どうしたの、茜？財布でも落とした？違うよ。なんで自分の財布を落として聞いたって騒がなきゃいけないの？
She had a point.
そうじゃなくて、桜が枯れ出してるの。
What?
え？嘘。本当なんだって。島中の桜が一斉に枯れ出してるって。今、桜並木とか公園で大騒ぎしてるよ。
This music does not fit the situation.
見に行きましょう。ちょっと、授業は？世の中には授業なんかより大事なものがあるの。 行こう行こう。ココちゃん、行こう。ちょっと。
Akane dragged Coco out of the classroom. There were all students flooding into the corridors as well. What on earth? The everlasting cherry tree is dying? It's like the great Deku tree. Class was effectively over. There was no point in having it. Most of the students left school in order to check on the cherry blossom trees, and the teachers didn't stop them. Even the teachers had left, concerned about the implications for the island itself. It's just like, screw education, we're the cherry trees! We were supposed to have self-study, but most people just went home. I decided to sleep until school ended. I could just check out the trees on the way home, after all. I wonder if Nanaka went out to look. Another day of school was over. People were back from seeing the cherry blossom trees and everyone was talking about them.
やっぱり何かあるのかな。天変地異の前触れとか。わからない。単に冬に咲いていることがおかしいってことに気づいたのかもね。
Such a stupid thing. Can you imagine that? A tree's just like, you know, guys, isn't it weird that we are in bloom all year round? I mean, it's winter. Why are we still in bloom? It's like, oh shit, you got a point. Okay.
桜が？あ、よしゆき。
Huh?
すごかったよ。本当に桜が散っちゃってた。
I just can't take it very seriously with this music. Coco chattered excitedly. I felt relieved to see her innocent smile. Really? I'll check it out on my way home. Well, it's not that, it's just like, kind of, oh no! It's more of a, so yay! I don't know what the hell. It's like, yay, who cares? Hey, Wataru, you saw it too, right? How was it? He ignored me, grabbed his bag, and quickly left the classroom. Still upset, huh? I took my bag and went to Nanaka's classroom to meet her. Everyone in the hallway was talking about the dying cherry blossom trees. Hey Nanaka, you in there? Nanaka's classroom was empty. But then I noticed her sitting there. She looked as though she had been left behind. I went inside the room. Hey, Nanaka! Let's go home. What's wrong? Nanaka was definitely acting strange. She looked pale, too. Nanaka, are you feeling sick? Nanaka slowly looked up at me. I'm starting to think that there's a connection between that story and Nanaka. And by that, the story, how it ended? Doesn't bode well. What?
聞こえなくなった。
She took my hand, and then she shook her head.
やっぱり聞こえない。聞こえないよ。
Calm down, Nanaka. Are you talking about?
心の声。急に聞こえなくなっちゃった。
Ah, I see. I thought she meant, not just that, but also, hear people speak or anything like that. Then it'd just be Yoshiyuki saying, calm down, tell me this or that. It just seemed kind of stupid in that kind of regard, wouldn't it? Huh? Suddenly she pressed herself close to me.
どうしよう、ヨシユキくん。私。どうしたらいいの？
Nanaka, is it because...
そんなのわかんないよ。突然、誰に触れても何も聞こえなくなって、わからなくなって。
Nanaka cried out to me with a look of desperation on her face.
どうしよう、ヨシユキくん。どうしたらいいの？私。ゆずちゃんに謝らなきゃいけないのに、こんなんじゃ謝らないよ。
Nanaka.
相手の望む言葉がわからないよ。
I pried Nanaka's clinging hands off of me. She stared at me, her eyes wide in terror.
義行くん
You couldn't always read minds, right? You didn't always have the ability to see what other people were thinking. Interruption. I don't know why you lost your power, but you're supposed to just figure out what you should and shouldn't say. Maybe it's a clumsy process, but if you don't know what someone is thinking, just ask them. We understand each other through communication. Most people can't read minds. Most people? Does that indicate that it's more than just a Naka? I know you haven't had a lot of practice with expressing yourself. That's why a lot of people don't understand you.
でも
She seemed to understand what I was telling her, but she couldn't accept it right away. She just shook her head rapidly, trying to deny it.
でも私怖いよどうしたらいいのどうしたら
She repeated those same words over and over. She was clearly still in shock about losing her power. Nanaka.
いや来ないで怖い
You don't trust me. You think I've become a different person just because you can't read my thoughts?
そうじゃないけどでもどうしたら
I know. I have an idea. This is a good opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn about true empathy. She tried to fight back her fear long enough to understand the meaning of my words. I knew it was time to finish things with Wataru once and for all. About damn time! Wataru hasn't gone home yet. I called his mobile and found out that he was still at school. I told him to come see me on the roof. Nanaka was hiding in the corner watching us from afar. Sorry for calling you out here like this.
なんだよ
Wataru responded bluntly, tossing his bag carelessly on the ground. I don't want things to keep going on this way. I really love Nanaka, that's why I decided to be with her. I didn't know that Coco had feelings for me, because you're an idiot! I'm sorry I was incredibly insensitive, but it doesn't change the fact that I love Nanaka. I'm really sorry that I hurt Coco's feelings, and I know I've hurt you too. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do but apologize. I don't expect you to accept it right away, but that's how I feel. Wataru let out a small sigh. His angry expression now took on a measure of pain. Having said that, I have a favor to ask.
なんだよ
Will you please come back to the band?
義行くん
Wataru's face contorted in rage.
お前全然分かってねえじゃねえかよそれがバンドを一緒にやることがどれだけ月島を傷つけてるか
I know that, but I'm still asking you to come back.
な
I saw Wataru's fist flying at me. You know, I was joking in my head and just like, now you will see us fight each other. And it actually is gonna be the case. I felt the dull impact against my face. I fell back, collapsing onto the concrete beneath me. My eyes were twitching and my nose hurt. Wataru just punched me in the face.
お前いい加減にしろよ俺がどれだけあいつのことを
I'm sorry, but I want us to be a band again.
なんでだよ
Because I don't want this to be the end. I love you guys, all you guys, so much. You're my friends, my bandmates, my gonads. I can't replace you that easily. I don't want to lose you, I know it's selfish, but I just don't want to lose my best friend this way. Please, Wataru, please come back to our band. Wataru's shoulders heaved. He was breathing heavily. There was clearly a battle going on inside him.
俺は月島が好きなんだ
Wataru's voice echoed through the air. It was a mournful wail.
でも月島はお前が好きでお前は白川が好きで俺は俺だってこんな状態嫌だよ
You know, you gotta really feel bad for Wataru, really, because he's kind of pretty much being friend-zoned and has to watch on as the girl that he loves, love his best friend, and his best friend is in love with a different girl. So, pretty much everyone gets screwed in this situation. Wataru.
お前のこと好きだよずっと友達だったじゃないかでもだからこそめちゃくちゃ辛いんじゃないか
There was a deafening silence between us. I remained down on the concrete and hung my head low in front of Wataru. Wataru's hands were still tightly clenched into fists.
少し考えさせてくれ
He said in a hushed tone. I nodded several times. Okay. Wataru picked up his bag and left the roof. As soon as he was gone, Nanaka came out of hiding.
義行くん大丈夫
Yeah, ouch.
すごい腫れてるどうしてこんなこと
That's what it means to try and understand another person's thoughts. It is. Get punched in the face and then just be like, okay, just tell me, man. Can you do this? Just like, think about it. Now that we've expressed to each other how we feel, we can begin to understand each other. Maybe I got punched a little, but I'm really happy about how things went.
嬉しい
Yeah, because now that we've talked, I understand how he feels.
義行くん
You know what I think? I think Yuzu-chan had two sets of feelings at once.
え
Yuzu-chan was afraid that the surgery might fail and that she'd die from it. But that doesn't mean she wasn't also afraid of leaving her father alone. You've been so desperate to help her that you just focused on her fear for herself.
義行くん
Naka, you told me that there was a downside to reading minds. I think that's true. If you just read what they're thinking about, you'll never know how they really feel. For once, Yoshiyuki is actually saying something quite intelligent. You know, it's true. Just reading someone's mind isn't gonna really tell you everything about them. You'll see like a maybe pattern in their thought process, but there's a bit of that's not all there is to a person. Like me, for example. I have random thoughts every now and then, just like, oh, I could punch some motherfuckers so hard in the face that their face would come out the other side of their head. But do I freaking punch a person? No. And there's another side of me where it's just like, I'd rather not do anything like that. No punching someone in the face. I just I literally feel guilty. This one point, years ago, I ripped up a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and this is a really stupid example, but I felt guilty about ripping that up. It's weird like that. So just cause your thought, so that's kind of a weird example, and I couldn't even call it an example. Thoughts aren't everything there is to a person, essentially. Thoughts are fleeting. One thought could, I don't know how to describe it. You can learn how to understand a person without reading their mind. There's got to be a way to figure out how Yuzu-chan really feels, and to communicate your feelings to her.
義行くん
Just don't lose yourself to fear. You have to be brave. Nanaka nodded, her eyes welling with tears. You should sing to her. Let's start our band back up again. And that way Yuzu-chan will be able to hear you sing. I know Wataru will do the right thing, so now it's your turn.
私の
Nanaka seemed confused, but her expression turned serious. That's right. She knew this was something she had to solve on her own. She nodded to clear things up with Coco. You knew about Coco, but you still chose to be with me, right? You were honest about your feelings. Then that's what you have to tell Coco. You have to tell her in your own words. Nanaka nodded deeply. She finally understood what I was trying to tell her.
私頑張る。ここにもゆずちゃんにも私の気持ちを伝えたい。
The time to resolve all these issues.
ズルなしで正面から伝えたい。
That's it, Nanaka. You might be scared at first, but that's when your true courage will shine.
義行くん。
Nanaka stared into my eyes. As my gaze met hers, I could see that her eyes were no longer gripped by fear. Gotta hand it to it though, man, despite the awkward kind of mood changes here and there. Like this, for example, they do this every time after a serious scene. I gotta admit, the serious and emotional scenes done pretty nicely. And that scene with Wataru, just like, I love you too, man, just like, romance! It had been a while since I'd seen Nanaka with such a big smile, but I could tell she was still very nervous. It was her first day facing life without the ability to read minds. It wouldn't be easy at first, but I knew that she'd get used to it with time. Right, let's go to school. We shall go to school next time. So, I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.